Hi there, I'm Katie, and I love baseball. So today I want to talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame, specifically Pete Rose in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, I know we just went through Hall of Fame season. Everybody is really sick of hearing about the Baseball Hall of Fame. The Baseball Hall of Fame is theoretically separate from MLB. It is run by its own executive. It is supposed to be separate. And when I say the Baseball Hall of Fame, I'm talking about the museum in Cooperstown. Yes, Cooperstown, Baseball Hall of Fame, kind of interchangeable, even though technically Cooperstown is the town in New York where the museum is located. So Pete Rose. Y'all know when I talk about Pete Rose, the first thing you think is gambling. Or maybe the first thing you think of is Charlie Hessel. Because Pete Rose, after all, is this guy. You can't talk about Pete Rose without talking about the gambling. I get that. And we are going to talk about the gambling. But the Baseball Hall of Fame claims to stand as the definitive repository of the game's treasures and as a symbol of the most profound individual honor bestowed on an athlete. The Baseball Hall of Fame's mission, and I'm reading this directly from their website here, is to preserve history, honor excellence, and connect generations. Okay, that's a pretty big mission right there. Preserve history. Okay, that's what museums do, right? Honor excellence, yeah, it's a Hall of Fame. You've got to be voted in. It's the Baseball Writers Association of America who votes you in, and they're supposed to be separate from the Hall of Fame and separate from MLB. Again, we'll get back to that. And connect generations. Because we all know there is nothing the younger generation, I'm talking about kids here, like little mini ones, love more than going to museums. Like, am I right? Seriously, if you can find me a person under the age of 15 who's like, yes, museums, I will give you a cookie. Preserve history. There are two people who are not on the Hall of Fame ballots because they were banned for life, later changed to banned forever by Major League Baseball. And again, suspend your disbelief here, Major League Baseball is not supposed to be related to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And that excuse has actually been used to explain why MLB will not do anything about getting Pete Rose into the Hall of Fame. But there's two players who should be in the Hall of Fame ballot who aren't, and may never be. In 1991, the Hall of Fame voted that any player on the Major League Baseball permanently ineligible list would not be eligible for the Hall of Fame. In 1989 is when Pete Rose came to his agreement with Major League Baseball that he would be put on the permanently ineligible list. I can guarantee you that if the Hall of Fame had voted about this before, there's no way Pete Rose would have agreed to that. And I agree, it is a bit of a bait and switch. Now, in 1991, the Hall of Fame decided this. However, they'd had this kind of informal thing going on for a while because the other player on the permanently ineligible list who should be in the Hall of Fame is Shoeless Joe Jackson. Now, again, this is supposed to be a video about Pete Rose, but Shoeless Joe was banned from baseball for life, along with the other members of the conspiracy to throw the 1919 World Series. So the Chicago White Sox were their team. It is called the Black Sox Scandal. In terms of honoring excellence, because that's what they're supposed to do, right? They're connecting generations, which we already talked about. Again, museum-loving 12-year-olds, honoring excellence. You can't argue that Pete Rose wasn't a amazing player. Without him, the 1970s Cincinnati Reds, the Big Red Machine, would have been like the medium-sized Scarlet contraption. You know, like, yes, they had Johnny Bench. Yes, they had Joe Morgan. Yes, they had Tony Perez. Like, they were amazing. But you can't say Pete Rose wasn't part of that. Oh, yeah, and those three guys I just mentioned, in the Hall of Fame. they were great. And I am not a huge baseball historian. I love the game. I love the game currently. I was not born in the 1970s. I do not have this long, storied fanship to draw on where I remember the grainy TV pictures and listening on the radio. I don't have that. My baseball is played in HD. In fact, I watch a lot of it on my computer. But at the same time, when I read about that Cincinnati team, when I watch video and look at pictures and read articles and books and like, damn, they were amazing. And to say, well, but Pete Rose is banned for life, so we're going to pretend that never happened, that's not honoring excellence. If you want to say, well, yeah, but you know, that was just a couple seasons with some really good dudes and the rest of the team was all around him. You guys, Pete Rose still has 5 records. 5. As in, to this day, the 26th of January, 2017, nobody has beaten him. He has the MLB record in hits at 4,256. Games played, 3,562. At-bats, 1,453. Singles, 3,215. And outs, 10,328. He won 3 World Series, 3 batting titles, 1 MVP award, 2 Gold Gloves. He was Rookie of the Year, and he was named to the All-Star team 17 times at 5 different positions. In 1975, Pete Rose was the Sportsman of the Year, as named by Sports Illustrated, and also named the top pro athlete and won the Hickok belt. Hall of Fame. If you're honoring excellence, you suck at your job. They also talk about preserving history. The history of baseball and the history of sports betting are like this. For a long time, baseball was the only game in town. You bet on baseball games or you bet on horse racing. Now, I'm not saying players should be allowed to bet on games. Managers should be allowed to bet on games. Hell no. It is a very good rule. And, quite frankly, I agree that Pete Rose should be banned for life by the MLB. I agree 100% with that ban. What I don't agree on is the Hall of Fame bending down to MLB and choosing to validate Major League Baseball's choices to ban by determining those players to be ineligible for the Hall of Fame. Oh, and yes, by the way, I did read Pete Rose's book, My Prison Without Bars. It's bad. I don't recommend reading it unless you have a lot of time, like if you're in prison. I don't think his book really contributed anything to the conversation. I felt the same way before I read the book as I did after the book. So yeah, Cooperstown, man up, put him in. And while you're at it, get Shoeless Joe in there. Seriously, you're preserving history, but you're leaving that guy out? Get your act together.